Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this we'll be going through the Melbourne Stars BBL SuperCoach preview for the 25-26 campaign and going through their fixturing, their international players, and who I see as a value, as they do have an interesting, albeit chaotic schedule with the double by doubles. We don't really see that much, but it seems like the Stars always have that around about the same time. I believe it is around the MCG test time that they have this. It might be no, it actually isn't. They have the double in the MCG test period or something somehow, and then no game across like New Year's, Christmas, and then come back for the double after that as well. So that is an awkward time schedule, but anyway, let's jump into it. But before we do, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's jump into this. So first of all, we have got the Stars predicted 11, and this one, there isn't much debate about it because of the Stars backup players aren't the greatest. The one question I have about it is, well, in making this was basically the likes of, I guess Tom Rogers is the only one I could really see. If we just look at their backup players, I thought Campbell Callaway was a fair shout of getting in. And then you've also got Hamish McKenzie, who I thought could have potentially gotten in, and Liam Hatcher as well for their respective spots. But anyway, let's jump into this. If they do go double spinner, you could see potentially a Hamish McKenzie, but I think also the fact that Glenn Maxwell should be there the whole time, injury free, then that should help out the spinner's cause and mean that they don't need necessarily another spinner. But Joe Clark at the top of the order. I have in recent days thought about potentially going someone like a Joe Clark over the likes of a Bancroft in that emergency slot there. He'd have that round 3 double, and that would solve that. Could mean that I could move McDermott on to someone else, or just hold, or Clark should be getting cash generation. We will show in a little bit his stats in other leagues. They're quite remarkable compared to the point that he's priced at about 28 or something. So yeah, I think that Clark is one that I will definitely be looking at as a potential option in the wicketkeeper slots. It's basically down. It's been down to 4 the whole season between McDermott, Clark, Bancroft, and the likes of Phillippe. I don't think I've had any others in there. So yeah, I think that'll be the discussion. Is Clark valuable there? Rogers is just a place filler. I'm surprised they haven't got an international talent in here. You can see only the 2 international players in the side. I'm surprised they haven't got a third one in to bolster their batting, because their top 3. You've actually got Curran, Ralph, and Clark there. So you do have the 3 there. I'm surprised they haven't got a domestic batter that's any better quality than Rogers or Harper. They somehow every year seem to miss out on domestic talent, and this is no different. Harper did all right in the Shield game recently, 55 off about 40, but outside of that has really done nothing. It feels like forever. So he somehow gets this number 3 slot, but I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in some batter that's some semblance of can hold the willow, and that would knock Rogers or Harper out of the side. Maxwell at 4, this is probably the earliest that I could see him. Well, I mean, technically speaking, Harper could just drop down the orders like 6, and then you move Maxwell, Stoinis, and Cartwright up the order. But I think that if you were to say that this is going to be the top 6, I would be pretty confident in that it would be at least in those names in the top 6, whether it be in that order exactly. Can't exactly tell. But yeah, Maxwell's probably going to bat 3 or 4, you'd expect, and he'll be valuable in their double. You may want to, just because of his price point, it really depends how cash gen's going, but you may want to hold him in round 4 as a loop, but we'll just see how that goes, depending on cash generation, because you may have to flip him to someone else and then flip back into him, but that is really not as optimal. You'd rather be flipping on someone like a Swetson maybe from my side, or a Joe Clark at that point, and really using value there. Joe Clark could actually be really good because you get that round 3 double, then you get that round 5 double. So you already got that those players starting to stack up in the round 5 double as well. So that actually could be valuable over just a Bancroft round 2 doubler, where he's not even going to keep. So maybe I actually think about that as well. And you know, it's one game. Benny McDermott could still do well in round 2. But anyway, so I may switch to Clark there just because the numbers really back him up. And then Stoinis at number 5. He is coming off a really good season last year. The year before, he was in that ultra value category. And he's been bowling a lot for, well, still Australia. Don't know how he gets games there, but bowling a decent amount, swinging it and stuff. So doing pretty well with the bat as well. He wasn't a walking wicket last year, but I just don't see the value this year at 140 odd K, I believe he is. Hilton Cartwright, if he ever bowled, he would be valued, but batting 6, it's kind of the worst spot to be in, even though he's going to get so much of a bat because the top order of the Stars is so bad. Curran, now we'll get into this later, but having a deeper dive into his stats, it's a tough watch. He brings so much pedigree, like he's so good on paper, yet his stats are so underwhelming. We'll get into the averages, but you'll just see it with when he was at the Sixers. He was taking 20 odd wickets a year, scoring and averaging 30 with the bat. Whereas in the last couple years, aside from one T20 Blast tournament in the last 3 years, he has done absolutely nothing. And I'm talking in a BBL sense, if we're talking averages, I would say he's probably averaged 35 or so for the past 3 years across T20 tournaments. And that was kind of surprising, not gonna lie. And that's why he is 106K. I will probably still be heavily looking at him when it comes to their double in round 3 or round 5. And he could be the type of player that you get onto early and you can hold through the bye in round 4. But yeah, that was surprising doing the research for him and just going, do I even need to bother doing a Excel document on this? He is so out of form. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know whether that's injury related. I think part of it is also that stacked Surrey side. We did see Jamie Overton do something similar. I will say this, but Tom Curran's coming off the back of BBL's doing it as well. So will he be able to translate this sort of not doing much with the ball into being able to finally pick up wickets in the BBL? Will be interesting, but certainly someone that I will be watching, but I'm surprised at the underlying numbers. Stecky at number 8, he's the most expensive player in the BBL, mostly because he took a 5 for 14 with about 6 wides. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, he's the most expensive player, averaging about 80 with the ball, in total in SuperCoach. So he's not going to do that. There's no point picking him. I don't even know if I'll pick him on the... I don't even think I'll pick him on the double. He's that expensive. I'd rather go for someone like a Harris Ralph. And the problem with the Stars players and loading up on them is that you just look at their side and you go, Peter Siddle probably won't play the doubles to both sets of doubles, so you can't pick him there. Harris Ralph is up, down, and around. I think he's priced. I don't know where in the hundreds he's priced, but his numbers were either really, really good or really, really poor, depending on which tournament he was at. Swetson, I think he's a really good, cheap guy to go for. Steckity, way, way too expensive. Tom Curran, inconsistent. Then we get to Cartwright, number 6, not bowling. Stoinis, not really a guy that you really want. And Maxwell, too expensive. So you can basically narrow this down to, I don't really want to start many of these guys at all. And it basically comes down to who's cheapest chips and has some relevant back form in the previous years. And that is basically Clark and Swetson. Harris Ralph will get to his underlying numbers in a second, and then Peter Siddle rounds out the 11. Could have gone for Hatchet in that spot, as I said earlier, but I decided against it. Now, if we get to their doubles, as you would have heard me saying, round 3 double game week, round 4 bye, and then round 5 double game week. So they do have a interesting, chaotic, as I've been saying, schedule to go on. Now, if we go over to their players here, and if I go over there is the Excel document, but we'll start off with sorting this by coach's choice. And I'll make this a little bit lighter for you guys here. Maxwell is obviously going to be the most owned, and that's just because he's one of the more consistent players in the game. I mean, Steckity is actually the highest price player at 231k. Don't tell me how in the world he pulled that off. I don't know why this has gone back to dark mode. I don't want it in dark mode. I want it in regular. Thank you. He averaged 88 and for 439 points. He got 140 point and then 121 point and a 97 point. I don't understand it. Don't ask me how. But he somehow picked up something like 15 wickets in like 6 games or something dumb like that. Or was it 5 games? That looks to be 15 wickets in 5 games. I don't know how he pulled that off. No one knows, basically, but he did. He's not going to be valuable this year, as of course it's taken away my filter for the stars. There we go. And then it's going to somehow take away my coach's choice, is it? Nope. There we go. We finally sorted that out. So, Steckity, no go. Maxwell, 37% owned. I'm happy to play against him, even though he averaged 76 last year, because, I mean, 83 the year before that. Didn't play the year before that. 63, 62, 64, 60, and then the year before that as well, he averaged 67. So we can see that he is going to obviously do really well. But I think there's better ways to spend, and I don't think I'd want to guy 200k on the 2 singles to start the year. I really want to spread that cash out, because basically the difference is you can obviously get a Glenn Maxwell and someone like, let's just say, who's also that like to the 80k range. I don't know exactly, like a Chauhan or something like that maybe, or someone from the Canes or something like that. Whereas you could probably say Owen and someone like a Nathan Ellis, or you could go a Glenn Maxwell and someone like 140 odd K. It's probably a Scorchers player or whatever, because they have the double in round 4. You could go somewhere down that line, and you're just looking at the games played leading into round 3, and it will be 3, well, into round 3 itself will be 3 for the Hurricanes, 3 for the Sixers players, but and then into round 4 after round 3, it will be 5 for the Hurricanes players, compared to 4 for the Stars players and 3 for the Scorchers players. So that's why you're just sort of looking at it going, they're going to have a massive advantage here comparative to other teams because they play early. And that's why Maxwell at 201k I don't want yet, because if he goes out early, you're burning a lot of cash. And I'd rather pick up Maxwell. I believe as well that Maxwell will probably go down in price for the first couple of weeks. I don't think he's going to go up in price. And if he goes down in price, that will massively favor me. Obviously, he's done pretty well against every side in the comp. I mean, if we just look at all of his career stats against versus opponents, you can see 84 against the Sixers, 46 against the Thunder, 36 against the Scorchers, 62, 99 against the Hobart Hurricanes, but that's a total different side. Nowadays, 60 against the Heat and 67 against the Strikers. So he does well against every opponent, but I just want to basically fade him to start and grab him up in round 3 when I can. Harris Ralph, interesting one to actually look at. I can probably show you the stats now for Harris Ralph. 41 in the PSL, 12 matches, 23 runs, 17 wickets, 95 dots, 41.67 average. But then you go down to the MLC. He scored 44 runs, but he took 17 wickets in 8 games. The problem for him that I really see is that he rarely produces economy rate bonuses. And if he's not absolutely skittling sides, like 15 points of economy rate bonus in 12 games in the PSL is pathetic. So you can kind of see where the problem lies, is that he's probably gifting away 30, 40, 50 points to other players that will take the same amount of polls just because of his economy rate. If we just look at this as well, you'll kind of see it here as well. If we go to this and grab up here, you'll see in the MLC 9.09 economy rate, and then PSL as well 10.28 economy rate. If we go back down to the MLC 2024 economy rate of 9.09, T20 World Cup 6.73, so did better there. PSL 9.43, but then BBL 8, so he did better here. And then you can see as well, if we go back to, will this go any lower for the BBL potentially way back? Let's just see. It doesn't look like it. Here we go. You can see here the 7.85 for 9 wickets. This is when he did really well. If we go over to Harris Ralph, 21-22, it doesn't actually have it, but I wouldn't be shocked if you saw him actually averaging, well, just looking at this, it has to at least be 40 odd, you would expect, because 2 wickets in most games. So 40 odd there at least, maybe 45, 50 you would expect from that BBL campaign there. So he did pretty well, but at price at 57, 152k, don't think I'm going to touch him early. Stoinis, 145k, we sort of talked about this. Massively improved campaign after a disappointing 23-24, a meager 22-23, a disappointing 21-22, and then back at it when he was one of the better ones in the comp in the for 2 or 3 consecutive years, from 19-20, 20-21, and then the 21-22 campaign. So it was only 2 years where he was a mega mine, but he absolutely dominated for 2 years. And there's just no value, I don't think, this year at 55. I don't think he's really shown that he's going to average 45 with the blade or something like that and score 70, 80 points. Whereas he was bowling 3-4 overs, it felt like, in this year, where he was just taking, scoring for fun. If we go back to the 2019-20 campaign, the 21, where is his mega stats? The 2018-2019 campaign. 500 runs, and then that would have been what, 14 wickets or something, I believe. 14 wickets and 530 odd runs. Massive strike rate bonus, dot ball bonus, comedy rate bonus, and 4 catches as well. You can just see where the points just add up. Across that, he played 13 games, so he was taking over a wicket a game and averaging over 40 runs pretty much in every dig. That's kind of hectic and huge. Then Peter Siddle, don't think he's going to be valuable at that price point. Tom Curran is one to track and watch. We've seen him in previous years averaging 70, but then here's where the fall off happens. 42, 41, 40. What the heck happened here? And we can look at this and you'll just see it just fall off. Absolutely fall off. T20 blast. 237 runs in 14 innings. Looks great. Has a lot of strike rate bonus in there. Look at his bowling for that tournament. 6 wickets in 9 games. Does all right. That's probably, I think I calculated it, another sort of 50 or so, because he also goes for, there was only, I think, 1 economy rate bonus. As you can see here, 9.83. PSL, 2 wickets in 2 games. ILT20, 2 wickets in 5 games. Economy rate bonus 9.37. BBL last year, 5 wickets in 6 games at 9.26. Then the T20 Blast, 16 wickets in 8 games. But then you look at his batting in that as well. And this was one of the anomalies, I think, the T20 Blast, 140 in 9 innings. So he actually did really well in this campaign. So that was a good one. BBL, the previous 8, 229 the previous year there. So he knows how to bat at home and play at home. We look at this, but no wickets in that one as well. So it's really hard to judge Tom Curran because he's either batting or he's bowling, and he's rarely doing both well. The only time we've seen it is in the 2024 Blast, which was a year and a half ago now. And he followed it up with a pretty dismal campaign in the BBL. So I'm probably going to wait and watch on Tom Curran. Hilton Cartwright, no thank you. Scott Boland will be with the Aussie squad, probably plays 4 out of the 5 tests. Joe Clark is an interesting one. If we look at his numbers, Joe Clark, you'll see here 50.3 in the Vitality Blast off of 420 runs and 4 catches. Huge strike rate bonus as well, which is big. Then ILT 20, average 29, which is disappointing. 172 runs, 1 catch. I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't keeping. But you can see as well, if he does get the keeping job, if Sam Harper can just stuff off from the keeping job, then you can see in previous campaigns, 419 runs, 5 catches, 3 stumpings for 53 average in 21-22 of the BBL. And then in 22-23, 381 runs, 60 strike rate bonus, 13 catches, 2 stumpings for a 45. If we get a 45 out of him, that's one of the top keepers. Like 40, 45 is one of the top keeper marks that you can get. Philippe's done it consistently. Guys like Josh Inglis, when he's actually playing, have done it. I can't think of many others that have done it in the past. Benny McDermott has done it, done even better than that as well. But yeah, not many keepers have done better than the 40 odd that you can average, and he's priced at 26. If we can get him, like if he can just average 35, 40, that'll be huge cash generation. It'll be 3 or 4K per week that he would be gaining, which would be kind of huge. So hopefully he can do it. Because yeah, he could easily get himself up to about 100K, and then we can just spend it on a 50K keeper. Hopefully Nielsen is like even lower at that point in price. I don't know how he would, but yeah, that would mean that we'd get 50K in our bank to spend on a better player down the track. Sammy Harper, do not play, hopefully, but he probably will because he's in my predicted 11. Mitch Swepson is the other guy I'm intrigued about. I know he's had some really up and down campaigns. We can see last year averaged 22, the year before that averaged 37, 23 the year before that, 37 the year before that, 54 the year before that, 37 the year before that, and then 34. So very much up, down, and around. If we look at it, you can see in 24, 25, 9 innings, 4 wickets from roughly about 32 overs, which is really poor, at an average of 71 and an economy rate of 8.93. He's lost 2 economy rates in terms of runs per over from the last campaign of 6.99 when he took 10 wickets in 10 matches. And you can just see here, the numbers are stacking up that he should be doing better, you would expect. And then with the bat, doesn't offer much. He's got 84 runs in 87 matches, 3 catches, so he's going to take 2 or 3 at least per year, you would expect. But yeah, it is just him needing to get his economy rate back down, because if he can, he will be back to his best, and he could take 8-9 wickets in a campaign. That's already averaging about 20-22 in BBL. Add a couple of catches in there, that gets him up to 24, 25. Dot balls probably into the mid 30s. And if he's doing mid 30s, like if we just look at his projected here and look at 25, 26 here, you'll see, projected scores are wacky, but he could easily make his way up to around about 90, 100K very, very easily, and that would definitely help out the cause. Averages somehow 16 against Hobart, but if he can just do something with the ball against them in round 1, take a wicket, that would be optimal. Then Hatcher, don't expect him to play. He'll be flip-flopping with Peter Siddle, so not expecting much from him. Campbell Callaway could open instead of Tom Rogers. We'll see about that. Not really a T20 player in my opinion. And then they've got Hamish McKenzie and Another Zach as their 2 guys that I don't really expect to play. So could be looping options there. But anyway, that is the video there going through the Melbourne Stars BBL SuperCoach preview for 25-26. If you guys enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and I will see you guys in another BBL preview tomorrow. Bye, guys.